Hello everybody, welcome back to more of Motorsport Manager. The Timmix here and Ernie's challenge. Gonna roll on 11th race of the season. We're headed to Milan, Italy. One of the fastest tracks of the year, and generally I think the one that's easiest to pass everybody on. So it's all about speed here. And we're almost certainly going to lose some ground to Steinmann, but with 6 races to go, 84-point lead, we can afford to lose 14 points a race and still finish the year tied. Of course, tied isn't good enough. We need to win. But that's a significant gap. So in this race, I'm basically going to assume Steinmann's going to take the top 2 spots. If they don't, great, but I'm going to assume that. And we're looking to race against the rest of the field, finish in the top 5 or so, not lose a huge amount of ground. Anything in that vicinity will be good enough for us. Channel 6. Any thoughts about giving team orders? Makes for better TV when they're racing. Okay, and Surikov wins, and they really weren't that close together, so that's sort of an off-base comment. Probably based on us getting the top 2 positions. Chapman hated by Own Mechanics. Don't care. We're going to have another sponsor offer. And for this track, top speed, brakes, and the rear wing. Get those out of there, and let's see about the brakes. And yeah, those are maxed out, so we just want to stick with these. And then also, I think we're on our last couple of front wings here. I think we got one more coming in. Although these are all about the same ability. Let's wait and see what that next one comes in at. There we go. Front wing is finished. Okay, yeah, this was the better one. So we need another one like this one, because that's quite a bit higher. Okay, that's where we were at. We're a little bit further ahead, or not quite as far ahead, rather, as I thought. So, okay, let's design a new one, the same. And I think that's what we want right there. We'll get some more money in, of course, with our new sponsors. So now we're going to want to work on that one front wing. This is 1139. Far better than the one that we're using. Let's boost that reliability. There we go, and that's going to limit how much of this improvement we get. Front wing, not a crucial part for this race. What about down the line? We're going to want it for the next race in Munich. So we can work on, yep, and Ardennes, and Black Sea. Well, it's a crucial part, I think, in every race the rest of the way. Okay. So I think what we want to do is forget about it for this race, except for whatever little bit we're going to get from just having it on there. For this race, we're going to work on the engine and the rear wing, try to get those boosted up, and then we'll switch our efforts to the front wing, especially because we've only got a 20-point gap between what it's going to start at and what it's going to finish at. So we aren't going to need a bunch of performance. Once we get the reliability up, that'll be fine. Getting our performance up for these, especially the engine, I think that's the much better investment of our resources. So that's what we're going to go with. Okay. And Chairman Lana Kendrick, or Chairwoman Lana Kendrick, very happy. Michelle Maloney has some things about Milan. 40-lap race. Almost 4 miles. Lap record 156. Yeah, that's not going to hold. Likely to be rain, but the forecast says not really. So we'll see about that. Rear wings are going to be the key one. Interesting. I'm surprised it's rear wings and not the engine. Soft, medium, and hard. And the tires wear out quickly in Milan. That is true. So interesting that the rear wing is that key. And we're barely average on that despite having maxed ours out. And you can see with our new rear wing, we're all, that's gone up quite a bit to become our best part. So that could be a really big benefit for us towards the end of the year here, I think. Because that being a crucial part the rest of the year, and we're near the top in it. It says 5th, but yet we're like right up there. So that's going to be interesting. What happens could be up to number 1 once we get them both going. We'll have to wait and see how that transpires. Okay, boosting the engine up a little bit. And just getting a hair into those. And yeah, we've boosted by like 4%. This hasn't gone very far. But that's okay. I do want you here, right? 20 reliability, 19 performance. Yes. You are the better mechanic. Oh, we have a dilemma. And Nikolai Surikov wants to know about new rear wing. Some of the top teams leave him behind the high-speed corners, but, well, we've already done what we can on that. So, this would be a long-term project in a career save, but we're not there yet. Steinmann expected to perform well. And Surikov, odds on to follow up his win with a victory in Milan. So which is it? They're buoyant. We're going to look forward to another great weekend. Well, we'll see about that. And Jenny North hoping for Kitano doing better. They've been disappointed with the hospitality. We're getting a bit of a bad reputation, and it's making us seem rather less attractive to major companies. Could you get one of the drivers to put in a few appearances over the weekend to impress the sponsors? They want to do it to Surikov and tank his morale and lose a bunch of money. That'll improve our marketability. No. I'll give you 100K for more champagne. That's all I'm doing. Take it or leave it. And let's get our new sponsor rolling. And first of all, let's see what our other two are. Ishikawa, first place. Golden Tiger, 13th. So this is the one that we've been using that expired. And first is a little bit too sharp. 1.2 million a race. This is 200K a race. So we're looking for something in between. They're all 3 stars. 2 for 4th, 1 for 6th. And the 2 for 4th, obviously, better deals. This is the best deal. But is 4th a little bit rich for us to aim for? And I think it is. I'd rather go with the sure money with Ambrosia. Plus, that's a short-term deal we can reevaluate. So we don't get a bunch of money up front, but we get a decent bonus that's going to be not as hard to achieve. That's what I want to go for. Okay, so that's where we're going to aim. do our usual 3, 3, and 3, and it's looking like we might be going... Yeah, we're definitely going to probably be going softs, although it depends. We're going to stop as few times as possible. Both drivers saying content. Zoe Sharp says my car should be performing better. Okay. And we're looking at 8th and 9th, which is as bad as we've looked yet. Let's see where we are in the overall. Still 5th, but we're closer to the bottom than the top, even though we're slightly above average. Our engine remains 8th. And I do think we have moved up slightly over the course of the year. Gearbox is 4th. Brakes are 7th, just above average. 5th here, well above average. 4th on that. And then the rear wing's only 8th, even though we're near the top. So... Okay, weight stripping, and of course we're going to want to take the extra off of the first car. But first off, let's go down 75. And we go down to 80 there, and this, yeah, the engine, I went a little bit crazy there. So 80% there, 80% there. It's going to be 375. Oh. Okay, wrong button. Now we're back where we want to be. And then we'll also want to drop another 20 here. 10 there. So 675 and 375 is what we'll go to the race with. And they're saying they want to start on hards, which I think they're nuts. At 14 degrees, we're going to want the softest tires we can get, probably. But on the other hand, we're going to want to start from the back. We're going to want to, so we may, the thing about it is, here, we've been worrying about getting stuck in traffic in the previous races. But I don't think that's going to be an issue here at Milan. It's just speed. So we're probably going to want to go with whatever gives us the best distance. It's a 40-lap track. Can we get 40 off of these? I mean, I'm really tempted. And I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for one stint. We're not going to stop. We're going to stay out on hards the whole time. Other drivers are going to be faster. But we won't have to stop. We can just go around and around and around. I think I'm going to go for it. Let's at least get set up for that. Because I think the other cars are going to be faster anyway. Let's go with what our strength is. And we're probably going to want more speed. And we'll leave this here for now, but I'm betting she's going to want understeer. Let's go ahead and let the drivers, though, let their preferences rule. High downforce, not a surprise at all on this track. And let's see what we think about this. And if this works, I think it's going to be the only time, I don't think I've ever done a track where I just did not have a pit stop. 6.5 and 7 for the form. So both drivers looking pretty good to start. Lots of cars going out on hard tires, so it's not just us. And the other thing about this is if we hit the sprinklers, then obviously we won't be feeling too great about that decision, because then we'll have to pit. So it is taking a gamble with the water. The other option, of course, would be go to double softs. That gives us speed, it gives us more flexibility if we get hit with sprinklers, etc. But it's a shorter track in terms of number of laps. So it's a gamble either way. But I just, for pure uniqueness, novelty of it, I want to try the hard option. No complaints yet from the drivers. Camille liking the arrow. And Sharp sets the pace in 107. Time's probably going to get down to about a minute or a little bit over. We're going to have all kinds of time here to make whatever adjustments are needed. Wexler going faster on softs, that's no surprise. Schmidt and Lundqvist beating us isn't too bad. Wants to change up the handling. I think she said to soften it, but I doubt that's what she really wants. Nonetheless, we'll come in and take a look at that. And that last little comment from Piaget wants harder handling, and I think that's what everybody's really going to want, so I'm just going to go with it. Let's go there. One more click to top speed. Let's try that. 88%, very nice initial start. And then we'll come in on the next lap here with Camille. You can see we're fading. Our times are really pretty rancid compared to the others. There's still some work, of course, to be done on the engine, improving it wise, and a little bit on the rear wing. But mostly, you know, we're just not fast enough. Good, okay, and great. So let's go with more downforce, more understeer. Yeah, that's probably something like that, I'm going to guess. We're at level 2. Let's have Sharp finish up these tires. We'll switch to softs. Speed this up a little bit. Sharp does like the handling better. There's our race trim. And doesn't like the downforce. Sharp's going to come around first, and we're going to need another lap to get the hard tires in. And doesn't like the speed either. Okay. So things just not going as well. Didn't make the quite the right adjustments that I'd hoped for. Definitely going to stick on soft still. Yeah, 82 to 83%, not a great boost. So we're going to want to put downforce right here on the low end, surprisingly. The handling is better, but the speed is not. So more acceleration, lower downforce. Let's go down to maybe 6.3. Let's see where that puts us. Okay, let's try 6.2. And let's try that. Sharp will now be coming in to make some adjustments, and we should hit the hard tire limit anyway. There it is. .6, 7.3, so very nice form from the drivers right now. And the speed is the main issue here. Went up to 92%. We got the handling better, but the speed not right. So we went from great to good, so we're going to want the speed somewhere around there. And then maybe a little bit more understeer. We might want to move it more, but let's hold it there for now and switch over to softs. And softs looking pretty good temperature-wise at 20 degrees. But not so much at 19, which is where we're going to be. I don't know why I said 19. It's 14 that's going to be on race day. And the other thing about that is the hard tires would cool off quite a bit, so we'd have to ride them hard. And if we ride them hard, probably don't have quite enough distance out of them. So that sort of argues quite a bit against that whole approach. Alright, now let's slow down here. We're going to want to come in. We'll bring Sharp in as well. Sharp will get in here first. People pretty happy with their setups. Sharp did get up to 5th, which is nice. And yeah, there's our soft tire hit. So we'll switch to supers. 98%, so we're just going to want to try to tweak it just a hair. I'll switch into mediums, of course, not supers. They're not available here. So, speed was great, good, and then great. So we're going to want to knock down the acceleration just a bit more. And let's give that a whirl. And of course we're at that point we just want that last little tweak to get us to 99 or maybe even 100. Great across the board. 96%, well that's much better. but none of them is actually just right yet. So let's flip you to mediums. So good, okay, and great. That was good. We want to go just a small amount either way on the downforce. Okay, so handling was okay, great, and great. So, small amount either way there too. Great, good, and good. So this was great, and this was great. I'm not sure which way to go on any of these, to be honest. Let's go right on the very edge. See how that works? Let's move the handling and the acceleration that way. And then let's just... let's do... yeah, right there. It's going to be a long stop. Let's see how that works out for us. And then we'll switch to sharp. At this point, I really don't think I care a whole lot about medium tires. Sharp is almost there, but I'm just going to do start and stops with Piaget, try to dial in this second car, while Sharp just goes around and gets us whatever we can get. Because we'd settle for that 98% if we can't get better. Oh wow, we just drilled it. That was pure dumb luck. Okay, we're gonna just stick with that then. Get you back out there. And now we'll do it the other way. Let's bring Sharp in and make sure she's all set. 8.5 driving there. Spectacular form. And almost there, but speed balance not quite yet. 98% still. So it's great there, and great there, and great here, 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 and here. I don't think this is going to be better, but let's tweak it down even further. Got to find whatever that limiting point is. Sliding to 6th past Lippinen. Of course, we extremely do not care. Speed it up a bit because we're only going around one lap. We are at level 1 on mediums, and I'm pretty sure we're going to hit level 2 and just not hit level 3. Okay, yeah, that's down to good. So that's too far. So if we come back up to here, we could do this, but then that would be off probably. So if we did that, I don't know. I mean, great, great. And that is a bit of a tweak. So let's just try that. That is pretty much keeping the same on handling and a slightly different speed than what we've attempted before. So I'm going to give that a whirl. And yeah, this is going to be our last one that we're going to be able to get in. And then Sharp's just going to have to pick one of them, and we're going to be stuck at 98% if this one isn't better. We've tried lots of different stints and haven't been able to nail that speed quite right. Level 2 mediums, and level 3 on everything else. Okay, we did get it. Cool. Sixth and 13th, actually slightly better than we've done in the past few races. Of course, still well back of Holtz and Wexler and Saarinen out there in front, which is interesting because if Wexler and Saarinen can compete with the Steinmann drivers, take some points away from them, that's probably going to be all to our benefit. Not a whole lot of comments for us. Catano Sport, Wexler hoping to beat Nina Holtz to the pole tomorrow when there's no qualifying. So that's sort of a situation where they wrote that comment obviously for qualifying doesn't exist. Only a true fan if you watch the practice sessions. Nothing about us. And it looks like partly cloudy today. This is my second attempt at this. The first one ran out of fuel late in the race, underestimated some things, and also confirmed something, which is that the whole going with hard tires, that's not going to work. Because it's simply too much wear on the tires on this track. So I could probably get maybe 35 laps at most out of them in actuality. So we're going to go with one stop on the softs. And going to have to just go with that and be satisfied with whatever that brings us. Yeah, we already set that up properly. Okay, so soft tires, both cars having excellent setups. We'll go down to 28 exactly. And that's going to require us to not push the fuel very much. Okay, here we go. And we got Sharp, see we got Chapman on hards with a 3, Sharp with an 8, Surikoff with a 5, and then Nina Holtz is the other one to be concerned about, of course, full hard tires with a 6. So they are going with hards, and in my opinion, that just doesn't help them. Particularly on this track, where it doesn't do you any good to have, you know, to be worrying about being stuck in traffic. And pretty good start by us, 17th and 18th. But again, the cars around us have worse tires, so we should be able to get by them fairly quickly here. Surikoff looking for room in between cars. Oh, there goes Sharp up along the left side of the track. So let's go right along with her. 4 wide here for a minute. Sharp up to 9th. 8th before the end of the first lap. And moving up on the others. So obviously a stellar move there, but in 11th is Surikoff. So both drivers really doing well. And we'll have to shift down to neutral after this next lap. Actually, no, we won't have to do it quite that quickly. We'll go down to push because it's an alternating between push and neutral on these soft tires due to the low temperature. Look at Sharp up in 3rd. He's going to take the lead. She's going to take the lead, excuse me, just into lap 2. So I am going to go neutral there. And then we'll go medium and push for Surikov. Because Surikov is still at the front of that pack and looking for more positions, that'll help sort of hold off everybody else. And Sharp slowly pulling away. How's Surikov tires doing? We can still keep this up. Because when we go to neutral, we'll be knocking the tires down there anyway. And even at this, like the soft tires are going to be baked by the end of this race. We're going to have to go into the red on both stints. So it's going to make things a little more interesting. Of course, the other option is push these softs hard and then switch to mediums. But I'm going to pass on that. There's Surikov up in third. And I think we'll go neutral now. We've got a lot more open space around the cars in this section, and I'm not too worried about getting stuck behind anybody in traffic again on this track. So I'd rather just get that temperature down at this point. This lap 5 in first and third is a great place to be. But you can see Holtz and Chapman second and fifth, even on the hard tires. So we are faster than them, but not by as much as you'd expect given the difference. That tire choice is really handing us a boon here. And we may very well not even beat them for the race. That's not even the goal. The goal is to be close. And obviously being first and third, being ahead of some of the other cars, getting some distance on them, all of that looks very good for us. Surikov at the moment actually not really gaining on Holtz at all. So we're just going to sort of settle in here. And we'll be content with floating behind if we need. Only driving at 4.1, while Sharp driving at 8.2. We'll have to push the tires more later on, but as it is, already over 4 seconds in the lead. And our energy's up to halfway as we get to lap 8. So we're about a third of the way through this first stint now. The field's spreading out. You can see we're well ahead of Saarinen, and Chapman is fighting with Saarinen but unable to get by, which is really nice for us. And at these speeds, you've got to be really close before you're actually on top of the other cars. And even though Surikov has pushed more, tires almost as much left as Sharp's. Appears to be gradually catching Holtz, but probably not going to get all the way there, because our tires are wearing faster. We will see. And Sharp with the fastest lap now, going under 108, as the track gradually gets faster. If we do get under half a second here, I will push for it. seems that we're just very slowly, but still catching. Well, alright, let's go for it for a lap or two and see what happens. And see, there we go. Backed way off there. Let's see what happens. See if we can make this pass occur or not. Now we're closing it back up again. Sharp with another fastest lap and needs to push here to maintain tire temp. Surakov's fastest lap to date. Now can he hold it around this lap and maybe pass near the end of it? We're at 0.4, less than 0.4. Now we're starting to get into the range of trying to find a way by. Then we lost it there coming out of that turn, but not nearly as much as last time. Got up to almost 0.6 and now struggling here to get by. Let's see what happens here. Really closed it up to under 3/10, but could not get by. Given what's going to happen to our tire wear, I don't want to do this for more than this one more lap. Oh, there's Saarinen going with a speed boost, as does de Graaf, as does Lundqvist. Yeah, and at best we maintained the distance there. We just don't seem to have quite enough to get by. So let's go neutral. So we're doing at least as well as Holtz, probably a little bit better, but not well enough to say, hey, we're superior. We can see like a 4, almost 5 second gap now back to Chapman, whereas Sharp is leading the field by 10. Just pulling away. And meanwhile it's lap 15, so just a few more laps until we come in. Probably a good time for us to go neutral. There, as you see, Surakov's temperature definitely going down again now. Want to make sure we get those down close to the minimum, because it is going to get rough the last few laps of this stint. I'd like to get to lap 19, and that would be about 4 more now. And you can see Surakov on neutral has now faded back a little bit. Closer to a second behind Nina Holtz. And we're up above 95. Let's go ahead and go hybrid. Got a few cars coming in now. Blanc, Woodford, and Moreno. Those who started at the front and did not stay there. If you're going to be in the front, you're going to be in the front based on speed on this track. The only thing that's going to get you there. Got to go push for a little bit here. I've still got to get through 2 more laps, and otherwise these tires are really going to get low. But I don't want to do it for very long. I want to do it for just enough, and we're low enough there we can go back to harvest. I just don't want to be right up around 100 when we go into the pits, because then we can sometimes overflow a bit. Alright, let's go back to neutral as Sharp hits the 25 mark, as does Surakov, who still has a little more temp, and now we're officially in the red. Sharp driving at 9 and Surakov driving up at 5.6. But you can see fading due to the tire wear compared to Holt's. And here we are, lap 19. And if we tried to go around again, we'd be pushing these down all the way to like 15%. You can argue that we should, to stay out there one more lap and push more later. Yeah, it's really a tough call, but I'm going to come in now. And of course, we're not going to be pushing the tires any more than absolutely necessary on this final stint. So Surikov, I think I had pushed just a little bit too long. Could have gotten a little bit more wear if I'd maybe stopped pushing half a lap earlier, and it didn't gain me anything. So there's a minor miscue. Sharp drops from first down to fifth. And we are going to need to push some, but none of the cars around us should have enough tires to make that a problem. What about Surikov? Surikov is in 12th. So now I want to use push strategically, meaning whenever I'm close to making a pass. 2+ seconds, 2.5 for Sharp, who's down to 8.1 to catch Wexler. And Surikov is now closing in. And for lack of a better amount, I'm just going to use that half-second margin. There we go. We're gathering quickly here against Ribeiro, who's got some pretty worn medium tires. It's no surprise that we're just going to go by there. And now we've got another gap, so we'll switch back to neutral. Fifth and 11th at the moment. Holtz and Chapman first and third. We're getting crushed in the points, but we're not going to be going in again, and they are. So down to just over 107 for the lap time. And under a second. Well, it was under a second. Now fading back again against Wexler. We're about the same distance here in our quest to hit 4th and 10th. We'll go hybrid. Let's push there and here. Let's have both drivers push and get those spots. Not sure who's going to make it first, but here goes Sharp by. Siri Lundqvist has crashed. It's only a partial yellow. And Sharp not that far behind third. Let's just keep this going. Meanwhile, Surikov is in some traffic as well. So we just want to be pushing here, I think, and get through these cars. And we'll back off the tires later. Saarinen using a speed burst to hold us off. That will not last. And Surikov looking to get that 9th spot. I think we're going to get it by DeGraaf. Yep. And now we've got a couple seconds, so we can go ahead and back off a little bit. Sharp looking to, yeah, just getting cut off there as we wind through. This straightaway should be no problem. Yep, blowing by Saarinen now. And a little bit of a gap up to Chapman. Well, that's trouble to lap 25, but it's actually not bad. They just start complaining when it hits 30%, which makes sense when you have a red zone, but not so much if you don't. So both cars about a second and a half back. We're up to 19 points in the current standings, which would put us a close third behind Scuderia. Still not good enough, 24 points behind, but Chapman and Holtz are number 1 and 2 and have not pit yet. And both drivers, again, gradually moving up while lowering their tire temps, which is great stuff. Sharp 8.1, Surikov 5.8, so excellent driving from our Australian star. And Nikolai, pretty solid. We're all the way down to 40-some% on energy. I forgot about that. We're going to switch over for quite a while then here to harvest. Both drivers coming up on a second. Now Sharp was about a second behind Chapman, then faded. And also up to 8.5 in the form. Sharp currently getting even better, while Surikov sliding a bit. And just sort of holding there behind Schmidt. But more cars are going to pit. Their tires are going to wear out, so we're just waiting. Now Surikov moving up some, and Sharp slowly gaining as well, but not to any great degree. The corner's still hurting us, but on these straightaways, we are making some nice headway with our tires and other components. And there we are under half a second, so let's push. Surikov still a second behind. And here comes Chapman into the pits. Not sure if it's the best thing to keep pushing here, but I'm going to keep... Yeah, let's just go to neutral. He's going to get off the track here in a second. Okay, so now less than 3 seconds up to the lead. Forget about it, Zoe. Surikov moves up to 6th with the various cars coming in. And that puts us just behind Steinmann now, as Chapman's out in 7th and only a few seconds behind Surikov. I'd like to get a car between us for sure. We're going too soon, I think. But I mean, obviously Chapman's going to be fast enough on those tires to get by us. And it's coming up quickly. We would have been a little bit faster here if we hadn't run the hybrid energy so long, but not by a huge amount. And Surikov just hanging where we are, unable to make that final approach on Schmidt. Meanwhile, Sharp gradually gaining bit by bit. And here goes Chapman's going to use the speed burst too. We're not even going to try to compete. Just go ahead and go. It's alright. The race for Surikov is not catching those guys. The race for Surikov is making sure we get ahead of Schmidt and, you know, more drivers beyond that if we can. Now we have to go push because of tire condition. And yeah, the same thing here. Need both drivers to push for a bit. We don't have enough energy to switch over yet. Under 2 seconds behind the lead. Surikov with Schmidt now the car ahead. Just not able to catch. So I think we're just waiting for them to come in. They're just, yeah, a lot of these cars driving much more aggressively. We do have Wexler, who's going to be coming up behind us real quick here. So I'd like to stay on push, hold Wexler off for as long as possible. go neutral there with Sharp just for a little bit. We've got 7 laps to go. We're at 87, 88%. I definitely want to go hybrid now. Make sure we don't run out of gas. We can probably push a little bit at the very end. DeGraaf went wide, and not a concern to us. And Surikov now falling to 8th. We might as well go neutral here for a bit. Just 6 laps to go, and you almost wonder if these cars are going to try to stay out there for the whole thing, but I don't see how they can. Like Schmidt is the one with the most tires. It's at 19%. Holt's at 13. You got to think they're just going to start slowing down more and more, even more than we are. But we'll see. I mean, I think everybody had pit by this time on my first run through of this race. Yep, Sharp's tires again getting to a very low point. And there goes Holtz into the pit. And has come out. Surikov in 6th now, and several seconds ahead of everybody. Okay. So 1st and 6th is probably where we're looking at finishing. That'd be 1 point ahead of them. Real close race, and that's fine. All we basically do there is we punt on this race if we can stay in these spots. Of course, it's a very open question whether we can hold off. Because we're going to run like 3 laps into red tires, and I probably should have stayed. Yeah, you're good. Probably should have stayed with a longer stint the first time. Let's go down to neutral for Sharp. Bleed off a bit of that. We've got less than a lap of fuel. Our tires are wearing down. We're at the very end of what we can do here. Chapman's advantage over Sharp is going to keep increasing, but that's only one side of it. The other side of it is that we've got an 11-second lead, and there's only 2 laps to go. Surikov up to 5th now. Somebody else must have gone in that I didn't see. Okay, let's watch it, but we're going to go down to neutral. And we may or may not have quite enough fuel to go all the way around. Let's see. Sharp, 17%, 16. And not losing much compared to Chapman. 12%. So we're either going to make it or we're going to be real close. We've got enough. Yeah, and I've got to push a bit to get these tires up. Surikov drops back to 6th behind Saarinen. Okay. We'll have that little bit of fuel when we run out. I do believe. About half a lap to go. I'm just going to stick with that. Yeah, switch to neutral. And Sharp started using the fuel just before winning. Now, Surikov in 6th. Trying to hold off Lipinen right now. Just over a second. And just barely did. Whew. Lipinen charging at the very end. Well, I mean, I don't think we could have done much better than that. Another race win for Zoe Sharp. And Wexler got ahead of Chapman, if I'm reading that right. Okay. Chapman had a 10-second penalty. Holtz demoted 4 places after breaking the rules. Lipinen gets the fastest lap, which is fine. Saarinen devoted, so lots of cheaters out there. But the bottom line is Surikov is 4th, Chapman 3rd, and Holtz 5th. So we beat them. We extended our lead. Surikov still in 3rd, just ahead of Wexler. Yeah, almost 100 points now. 96-point lead with 5 to go. That's over 2 races worth of points. Thank you for cheating, Steinmann. More importantly, thank you for getting caught. Thank you, GMA, for catching them. Loving your work, you make my weekends complete. Well, that's nice. Scalded Whippet comment about Sharp, who blew them all away. Really did. 8.2 for the race is just off the charts. You know, second best for the year is 7.3, and 6.5 is third best. And then a 5.1, you know, just below average on the year for Surikov. Not bad at all. Good stuff all the way around. More money, of course, another $1 million. And we finished our front wing, so we'll be taking a look at what to do next. But the bottom line is we are now going to be firmly in running out the clock mode. 5 races to go. We can afford to lose about 19 points a race. So it's now not at all running against Steinmann. We're just running against the rest of the field and trying to get a decent finish. That's it. So I wouldn't put it in the bag quite yet, but we're getting close. The fat lady's warming up, as they say. And our car, still in 5th, but now dead average. Not even above average at all. So we'll head off to Germany and Munich for race 12. That'll be coming up next. Until then, thanks for watching. More Motorsport Manager coming soon.